statement from Coach?
I don't. It's so tough in the last game, because you've gone. We've gone since mid-October where we had our first scrimmage and then the exhibition game, and of course been playing for a long time, and you spend so much time with these guys, and they have. As I told them in there, and that's not the first time I've told them. I truly love our players and our team and our staff, and it's hard to come in on when you play that last game. And I've been a head coach for 32 years at some level, and it's very, very difficult to find the right words at this at the end of the season. And as far as tonight's game was concerned, they first of all, UAB's got an outstanding team. I love Coach Kennedy as a person, and he and I both Mississippi boys and go back a long way from his time when he was at Ole Miss. I remember when he was playing high school basketball up at Louisville. But anyway, they've got a really good team. It's unfortunate that and I told Coach this. He called me, and I said, I cannot – baffling to me how we have to come to play UAB in the first round, So that's respect, and my respect and credit to them. I thought we deserved better, and what I mean by that is I felt like that we had earned a right to maybe host a ball game, but that's sort of things that are beyond our control. But the game itself, we turned the basketball over too many times, so many times unforced. Of course, and please don't take this as any kind of excuse, but that was we played the way that our schedule laid out, that we had a double bye in our conference tournament. Of course, lost our quarterfinal game there. And then we had another gap, and we played one game in 17 days, and we just seemed a little bit out of sync. And like I said, we turned it over entirely too much. We knew we had to control turnovers. And then the second thing, UAB, of course, is an outstanding offensive rebounding team, and we knew that we had to be really, really good on our defensive glass, and we just didn't get the job done there. But I thought between those two things, those were the difference in the ball game. And with 10 or 11 minutes to go, the score's tied. I really felt like at halftime that the way the first half ended, we had carried some good momentum into the half, and I just thought we needed to. Again, we talked about that. Of course, Felipe had tell you at the half, take care of the basketball, and we got to do a better job on the defensive glass. And if we would do those things, it felt like that we had a chance to win. But got about to the 10-minute mark, you have to give them a lot of credit. They made some nice plays, and that's kind of how the game went, I think. And but anyway, best of luck to them. I hope UAB goes and wins it.
Questions?
Jay, obviously it's not the ending you want, but when you look back on the season, what do you take away from it?
Well, I take away so much, and of course, coming off the type of, we did not have a very good season last year, and it wasn't easy to attract guys to. Guys want to go in and be involved with winning programs, but we had some guys, Felipe, of course, one of them, that had a lot of courage, and they decided that to come to experience what Southern Miss was selling. And it takes courage to change a program around. It really does. I mean, winning's made up of certain habits. Unfortunately, so is losing. And it takes courage for that to change. And we had some guys between the guys that came back and that hung in there with us when a lot of players opted to leave, I'm indebted to those guys. And then we had a great influx of players that came to the program, and they just meshed from day one. And of course, Andrew, I've told you this multiple times, that I just knew from day one just the way that they operated, the way they approached practice, the way they approached each other, the way certainly their skill set and all that is beyond question that it was going to be a much better year. I would have never anticipated that we set the school record for wins. We won the league for only the second time in school history where we won it outright. We were 15-0 at home. They did so many good things, and I don't want the last couple of games to take away from what they accomplished, and I'm forever indebted to it and love them.
Felipe, kind of a similar question. You're catalyst to one of the biggest turnarounds in college basketball history. What's one of your biggest takeaways from the season? And secondly, even back to the summertime, did you have any doubt of what you guys were able to accomplish?
Not doubt, but I had to start a new start. I mean, I had to come back to a new school that they didn't do well the years before. So it was no doubt because I knew who I was going into. Like Coach Juan, I know him for forever. Nefta same, and they told me stuff about Coach. So I kind of knew if we did the right things and we lead how we're supposed to, the things were gonna change. But man, it's since day one, it was so easy to just get into the program. Guys, I'm being completely honest. Guys just take you and love you. Dre, AC, I can go on and on. And guys, we don't have cars, the chili peppers as we call them, and everybody's like, Brandon, you need me, call me. Brandon and Aiden, our managers, incredible, like outstanding. So it was so easy that I knew I just needed to do my stuff, and the other stuff would take by itself. It would take care of by itself because it was just so welcoming, so love. Like they really put so much passion into it. So I just knew I needed to do what I was supposed to and what coaches tell me, and then the rest will take care of itself because it's a vibe that it was just so for each other.
Is that what you're gonna remember most from this team?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things to remember. I mean, I don't know, especially one, but it's been a journey, man. It's the first year that I get lost on how many games we played. I had so much fun going into practice. I had so much fun into all that I forgot. I mean, it's the end of the season. It's like, what? We could just keep playing. But I got so into the team and the motion and how we were doing and all that I literally it just flew by because it was no bad days that you're fighting with yourself. You just do what you're supposed to, and then we'll take care of yourself. But it's a lot of things. I can't name you all of them, but it's been amazing, man. Hattiesburg, I never thought in my life I would live in Mississippi, and that's changed my life. It's been real.
Coach, we threw your film work before this game with KJ Buffin. What were your thoughts of him coming in?
Yeah.
And were you surprised that he, took as many shots and was just?
Well, he was incredibly aggressive, and I thought he did a great job. I thought that he played. Of course, I was very familiar with, of course, being it was time at Ole Miss, but we and Walker caused us so many problems. Of course, you pay so much attention to him, but I thought tonight was really the difference maker. He was so aggressive at getting to the basket. Of course, ended up fouling Felipe out, and a lot of that had to do with him and how aggressive he was, and he was finishing. But yeah, I thought he played great. I really did.
Coach, could you just talk about just the last month? Over the last month, you guys finished 2-4 from that point, but the game against UAB, it seemed like you guys were at the pinnacle of this season. Could you just talk about what occurred in that this last month or so?
I guess that you're maybe thinking that we peaked too early. I mean, I'm just trying to read into your question, and I wouldn't say that. I would. We lost at Old Dominion, a really really hard fought game, of course, and that a game that was tied with 20 or 30 seconds left. But our guys played hard. Of course, we go right after that, take a long trip down to San Marcos and beat Texas State, which we ended up solidifying the championship. And then, of course, so out of our last 4 games, yes, we lost 3. We did lose 3 out of 4. And then we ran into a red hot South Alabama team. And I think I don't think it would be much class on my part if I was to say, well, it was us. Sometimes at this time of year we just got beat. I mean the Old Dominion game could have gone either way. With 6 minutes left, South Alabama, our game was a 2-point game, and tonight with 10 minutes left, the score's tied. So, but I don't know whether we ran out of gas, but of course you got to keep in mind too that Nefta Alvarez didn't play. I mean he's a game changer, dynamic guard. Of course I didn't mention that because I don't want it to make it look like I'm making any type of excuse, but if I would have for 1 second thought that our players had thrown the towel in or hadn't gone hard, I would say it. Of course, they would know, but they never did. And Did we play as well as we needed to play? Absolutely not. It was very obvious. That's like tonight, turnovers, and didn't take care of the offensive rebounds and some things like that. But sometimes it's just the other team. It just they made some plays tonight and we didn't. You know, what happens if we'd have played at home tonight? You know, all those games I just talked to you were away from home. But, you know, what about if we'd have played 2 of those games at home? We were 15-0 at home. So there's just a lot of scenarios. I thought our guys were locked into the end, and Felipe, I think, would probably echo that. And I could not be more proud and thankful for a team than I was this. Am I disappointed we lost in the conference tournament and we lost tonight? I am. I'm sick. They're sick, because when you're invested in something, it hurts. And our guys are hurt. You know, they were hurt then. And we just didn't play well enough. But, you know, if Alvarez plays these last 2 games, we maybe have won 3 out of 4. I don't know. But, you know, that's a big loss for us toward the end of the year as well as he was playing.
Was Alvarez a solid no-go tonight?
Yeah. He tried to go Saturday morning at practice, and he just couldn't put enough weight on it. And we've, of course, been in close contact. We've got great medical staff at our school, but also in town in Hattiesburg. Hattiesburg is just a great medical hub, probably like Birmingham is. And have him with a foot specialist. And, of course, they said he could go if he could handle it. But he wasn't. Felipe, I tell you, and it wasn't because he didn't want to. I mean, he was trying. You know, I don't know if he could have made it even if we would have been able to extend the season a little bit.
Coach, could you just talk about the seniors on this team?
Well, I can't say enough about Felipe and how he's changed the fortunes of our program, but really even personally. And I've had the very good fortune to have coached a lot of fine young men, and he's right there at the top. And he may not remember. I told him a few weeks ago, he's such a smart and intelligent basketball player. On top, of course, his skill set speaks for itself, but he's such a smart, intelligent basketball player. I told him as soon as he's going to have a great career professionally, and that's over with, I said, if the Lord has blessed me and I'm still have the opportunity to keep coaching, you got a coaching job with me. We'll figure it out. And but that's how much I think of him. He's like a son to me. Of course, he came because he's like a son to Coach Cardona, and I never truly appreciated all the great things Coach Cardona would say about him until he got here. But with it, literally the first day, you knew that he's just a special young man. And I'm going to tell y'all a quick little story here. That just the other night, he doesn't even know I know this. Just the other night in Hattiesburg, we got back last Saturday night from a Saturday a week ago from Pensacola in our conference tournament. And evidently he went to, and I hadn't even told my boss this, and evidently he went to Raising Cane's. And there was a lady and I guess it was her son, daughter. I didn't know. She just said her child, so I was just assuming. And were ahead of him in the line at Raising Cane's in Hattiesburg, and their credit card or debit card got declined. And so they were going to have to just leave their food there and not have anything to eat. He didn't know who the people were. He just stepped up there and said, I got it. And so this lady, not knowing who he was, of course, initially, found out that he played basketball at USM, and I guess figured out, I mean, not that she was any kind of fan, and sent me an email and detailing what happened. And that's the type of young man he is. And, you know, and so, I mean, it's hard not to be emotional with him, but also our other seniors. It's just been a great because we have a Latin American influence on our team, and you guys that are local know this. We've taken the motto of La Familia, you know, family, but they truly exhibit it. It's just been one of the most special teams, and we are sick we lost. We didn't, you know, gosh dang it, get beat 20 whatever it was over here and losing the conference tournament, because our goal was to get to the NCAA tournament, and we fell short of that. But it's not going to in any way dampen my memories of these guys. And again, Felipe led that charge. He's a great leader, better young man, and a great player, and just can't wait to see what the future has in store for him.
Appreciate it.
Same thing with Dre. And Dre, of course, kind of represents the other side. Dre's been with us. This is his 3rd year. Dre's been through some tough times, and he hung in there. And he had a lot of people. Never got in the portal, but he had a lot of people recruiting him. Y'all know how that works. And but he hung in there and decided to come back. And hey, Dre, it's going to be better. It's going to be better. And I think from day one when they arrived, he realized it was going to be better. And he just had such a great year for us too. And that's another young man that's just really special. And it'll go down in Southern Miss basketball history, and they all will, and guys that helped turn it around.
You know, looking at this program now, just what do you think the future of this program looks like after this season?
I think it looks great. To be honest with you, we got a great group of guys back. You know, we were losing 5 players. We've got all of our 1s are back, our 2s are back, our 3s are back. They're backups. We've got a young man sitting out that's that's our best athlete and maybe our best scorer. That redshirted this past year. We're able now to recruit where we were in the begging people to come and kind of take what you could get, to now we're able to be a lot more selective, and then because of the type of season that we've had, it's opened up a lot of doors of recruiting. So I think if we do the job that we're supposed to do in turn with our coaches and staff in recruiting, and we need a big guy. We need a Jimerson, you know what I'm saying? And I told him, man, I really think that kid's improved a lot. You know, man, he was the jump hook and so forth, and I compliment. And I know he's a great young man too, because of course I'd had a chance to coach against him these last couple of years. And we need a guy. We need somebody like that, so he's not down there getting, you know, our next guy like him's not down there getting foul trouble, because he's really a stretch 4, right? And but we just didn't have that on our particular roster. So we got to get a 4 and a 5, and I think if we do that, we'll be hopefully UAB will be coming to Hattiesburg next year, you know, or maybe we can meet them somewhere else.
One more question.
Coach, could you just speak on Nico? Guy that
Great game.
too much playtime with
Yes. Well, of course, a lot of people in here won't understand this. We went to Vanderbilt, and then just after the Vanderbilt game, we were playing a non-D1. Of course, we had beaten Vanderbilt. This was the second game of the season, and we lose Nefta Alvarez, the young man that wasn't able to play the last couple of games because of a injury that he actually sustained last year, complications from a surgery. And we went 17 games, I believe, I may be off one, that he didn't play. And Nico and other guys held things together. And I mean, they continued to win, and then of course when he was able to come back in late January, and again being the type of player, a lot of those guys' minutes really drastically were reduced. But I was so pleased, because that's another great young man, and to see him play like he played tonight, he gave us a chance tonight. And here I will say this about Nico: when Felipe, we were recruiting Felipe, and I was just trying to figure out, you know, how in the world we could get him, and Felipe said, "Coach, that's my best friend." And I said, "All right, we'll sign him." You know, I said, "Whatever it would take." You know, he could have told me, you know, we could sign his mom or something. We just, okay, good. You know, if whatever we had to do to get Felipe. But Nico has been awesome. Great young man. He's got a great future in front of him. Plays for the Chilean national team program like Felipe does, and so pretty neat deal. Yeah, I thought he played great tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank y'all.